We've all heard the saying, a new year, a new you.
New Year's resolution.
New Year's resolution.
New Year's resolution.
Yep. I'm just curious, how many of you made New Year's resolutions? How many of you kept them?
It's true. Your New Year's resolution sucks. But you can fix it and really make this year something special. See, New Year's resolutions have been around since about 2000 BC. And people have been consistently failing them since about 2000 BC. And I can't fault them for it. Throughout my life, I've set many New Year's resolutions that would drastically improve my life, but all they really did was add pressure and overwhelm me if I failed any aspect of my goal whatsoever. And I know I'm not alone in this. In fact, 23% of people who set New Year's resolutions fail within the first week. That means that from the over 80 million American adults who set New Year's resolutions, nearly 20 million give up in the first week, and almost 35 million give up before February. And there's one main reason for this. Your goals just aren't smart. No, literally. Now, we've all seen these SMART goal charts before, and they look nice, but I'm sure not many of you have actually looked into the specifics of what it's trying to say. Speaking of specifics, that's actually what the first letter stands for, so let's go ahead and look into what that actually means. Now, far too often we set extremely vague goals. Goals like, I want to be healthier, I want to work on myself, I want to fix my handwriting. Subscribe for that, by the way. But these are barely goals. If anything, they're more like holes because they're empty and they can be detrimental to forward progression. To illustrate how to fix this problem, I have 3 of my personal resolutions that I'm going to be going through and adjusting using the SMART chart. In the upcoming year, I want to get healthier, I want to become a better video editor, and I want to flex my creative muscles more. Now, there's something very similar throughout these 3 goals. Can you spot it? Yep, they're all unattainable and probably look a decent bit like your New Year's resolutions. But it's not your fault. I mean, we are wired to set these crazy goals, and we're especially wired to fear failure. And that creates this very unfortunate self-fulfilling loop that only you have the power to break for yourself. To start this process, let's make the first New Year's resolution more specific. Specificity in goals allows us to hold ourselves accountable more effectively than, with baseless, vague goals. Now, when making a specific goal, I want to is typically bad news. But this is a super easy thing to fix, because instead of I want to, we can just make it I will. Now, I will be healthier is definitely optimistic, but I'm not sure that it's more specific. So this is where your own personal goals come into play. For me, being healthier means taking supplements and working out more often. But for you, it could mean allowing yourself to go for a walk, cutting down on unhealthy habits, or subscribing to me. How did that get in there? So, to make my goal more specific, I'm gonna make it what I just said. I will take creatine, multivitamins, and work out more often. Now, for goals number 2 and number 3, we can just make those, I will learn new editing techniques, and I will write, film, or edit something every single day. See, now those are more specific, but now, let's make them. The thing about measurability is it often ties into the specificities of your goal, but there are definitely still some things we need to adjust. For example, let's look at resolution number 2. Saying that I'll learn new editing tricks is honestly a cop-out. To make this measurable, you just need to add some sort of quantity, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add a number in there. I will learn 20 new editing techniques.
Boom. Nailed it.
If you know what show that clip is from, by the way, you and I are now best friends. Now for the first goal, we need to add some measurements to creatine and multivitamins. Now for creatine, I actually got myself these creatine monohydrate gummies, which I have yet to try. Anyways, to make this goal more measurable, I will take a creatine gummy, a multivitamin gummy, and work out 6 days a week. For goal number 3, it's pretty measurable already, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. Now is one of, if not the most crucial steps in the goal making process. And that's reining it in and making your goals How achievable a goal is can make or break your success in sticking to it. I mean, think about it. If a goal isn't realistic, sure, you'll find an excuse not to stick to it. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, you may get upset with yourself for not reaching something you never thought to consider wasn't all that feasible. Since I know myself and my own limits, I'm just going to scale all these goals back a little bit. I do want to try one of these gummies to make sure that it's feasible for me to take one every single day, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, that is pungent. Whoa, that is shockingly good. Okay, that is really good, wow. They are a little powdery, but that was not bad at all, and so that part of the goal is definitely achievable. Multivitamins, same story, I haven't bought those yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But working out 6 days a week, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Let's just bring it down to 3 to 4 times a week. That gives me some wiggle room and allows me some rest days. For goal number 2, 20 is a lot. So I'll make it a more round number, like 12. Nah, I'm kidding about it being more round, but that does mean that there's like about 1 a month, which is a decent pace. Goal number 3, same thing. Let's just bring it down. Every day is a lot, just about 365 times a year, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I have that in me. I need rest days. So let's just match the working out goal and go 3 to 4 times a week. Now, these goals are looking way better already, but we do need to talk about the relevance. And then cut myself off like an... Now, for relevance, that's honestly just checking in on your current state of being. This part is about making sure your goals are for you. You get better for yourself. You improve yourself for yourself. Check in with yourself and acknowledge your needs with regards to your goals, and work with yourself to set goals that will put you where you want to be. I know that I want to get healthier, so I feel better about myself. I want to learn new techniques and be more creative so that I can make sure that that aspect of my character grows at the same pace that I do. For the relevance step, take your time. Take 20 minutes, an hour, a day, maybe even 2 days, and just check in with yourself and identify what you need. I'm not going to make any adjustments to my goals here because I know that these are relevant to the stages of life that I'm going to incur within the next year. So after all that, my goals are now specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant. Wait a minute. We need the T. I don't want my goals to just be S.M.A.R.T. We need the T. The T of timely. Now, as they stand, my goals are pretty timely. They're more about habit forming than reaching an actual number. But if your goals do focus more on reaching an actual number, don't fret. The reason that timely is the last step of making your goals is because it's way easier if your goal is already S.M.A.R.T. In that time, you've checked in with yourself. You've recognized what's realistic, what's important, and how you can measure your goals. So this step is pretty much done for you. I mean, you're starting on January 1st, so all you have to do is create the due date. For me, that doesn't exist. My goals aren't goals that hinder on reaching an endpoint. These are goals for improving my well-being, forming good habits, which brings me to the hardest part of all this, forming habits. Now, forming habits is awful. Life is unpredictable, and it throws things at you before you've even comprehended the last thing it threw at you. And statistically speaking, you need to build these habits within the first month or else you're doomed to fail. But there are steps you can take to prepare and to plan ahead. Use external tools like calendar and reminder apps to prepare you for things that you haven't taken into account yet. Look at which days you're more likely to fail and take them into account when making these habits stick. Plan accordingly. Plan around your busy schedule and adjust your goals if they seem impossible when laid out on a busy calendar. I mean, you don't need to change everything about yourself on January 1st because let's face it, that's impossible. If you really think that this next year is going to be your year and you want to have resolutions that can help enable you to make that happen, start small, give yourself grace, let growth happen over time, and have a happy new year.